So I'm not talking that much. I will be not talking that much about AI-based philosophy or enthusiasm. I will be more talking about facts. We were conducting a study together with the German Publisher Association, MVFP, which I'd like to present shortly in a second. If I'm trying to share my screen. So I will just show you my desktop, which is not the screen sharing I'm expecting. But do you, Helen? Can you give me a signal?
Perfect. Yeah. Clear.
Okay, great. I see strange signals on Zoom right now. So we did a study together with the German Publisher Association, MVFPs. We are Statista. Nxt Statista is the consultancy division inside Statista. We do strategy consultancy in digital advertising and in many other areas. And MVFP obviously is one of two German-based publisher associations. What did we do here? We interviewed a lot of media companies in Germany, all the big ones, or most of the big ones. Our scope was not limited to journalistic publishers, but also TV-related publishers. We also talked to a couple of book publishers because our belief in this study was AI is broader, right? For media companies, it's not about news outlets and news websites and news apps. It is also about book publishing, which might change. It is also about TV broadcasting and TV related distribution of video, which might change, where content generation could be different in the future. And it's also about other media areas. So, for example, we also talked to GEMA, which is the German royalty collection authority for the music industry, and check with them if if AI changes their market behavior, their strategy, and so on. If you look at the broad picture, I will dive into details in a minute. Media companies are still at the beginning of the AI transformation. What does that mean? It means they are already investing. It means that they are already, of course, heavily experimenting, but not all of them have AI integrated into their core strategy by means of it is like you have an AI ready organization in place. Every single division is aware of what AI tools and AI based automation can deliver to the organization and to the company. But there are also companies experimenting around. So obviously, since we have been talking to a lot of content generating companies, as you might call it, it's a lot about how AI can change journalism. How can AI influence journalism positively by means of fact checking, but also how AI can influence journalism potentially negatively, because there would be a lot of content produced by AI, not by journalistic companies, not by bigger media companies out on the internet. How does the fact checking work? How does the discussion around made for advertising websites work if AI based content floods the internet practically? And how are rights, of course, preserved, and how does regulation work in the future? So we took a look at a lot of international use cases at the beginning. So our impression was our focus for this study was Germany, all the German-speaking countries. So we talked to companies in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. The European market is pretty much aligned. A lot of discussion around regulation, a lot of discussion about how AI can influence content production. Media companies in the bigger European countries like UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. There are no different questions in place, right? So there are similar questions in place. How does AI influence our core business? How does AI influence automatization inside our media companies? How does AI influence journalistic creation of content. How can we integrate AI tools into our content management systems? Those are the core questions, even if the experimental view and the tests ran out in different countries might be different and have different accents. If we look at a kind of classification, so we had this Statista research power in the background. We have been using Statista departments for creating this study. And of course, in the end, you come kind of to a classification which says like, how can you differentiate the different investment strategies and the different corporate strategies in the AI environment for German-based media companies. So we see 4 clusters, 4 groups. Strategists with investment power are companies which are already significantly investing into AI. Overall, by the way, we talked to about 80 media companies, where 22 of them we interviewed intensively, and the other ones went through an online survey. So that's the overall base for the study. So they said clearly AI is a strategically most important topic for 2024 and beyond. So we invest heavily. We will not only test, we have implemented it into our organization. We take care, and we take care about the fundamental change which AI does to our organization and all of our media-based activities. Ambitious innovators, the second group, the largest group in the 4 clusters we have built. AI is an integral part of the corporate strategy already, but it's more on an experimental stage. So trying around with large language models, trying around with image generation, video generation tools, trying to improve content management, but not an integral part of the corporate development, so to speak, or the content production or other areas. But if you look at the right side of this chart, there are cautious administrators, and there are also skeptical companies who don't do much at all. So where AI has only been a field of experimentation without relevance for day-to-day business, or the use of AI is still very cautious because there are obligations with regards to regulation, how AI can preserve original journalistic content, or how it can be regulated that original journalistic content is not stolen by AI, used for given to the AI models to learn, and then the editors are out of the game. So there is a differentiated perspective on this. The vast majority of the media companies are strategists or with investment power and innovators. So they are taking it seriously. They are implementing into their organizations, but there is also skepticism. So how does AI transform or could potentially transform the attention economy? If you look at the different investment strategies, we were quite surprised, and that was also in the coverage and the press coverage after we published this study in late May. The investment level in overall figures inside media companies is quite low for the companies we have spoken to, for the companies who were in our scope, actually. So if you look at this, 54% of the media companies being in scope for the study invest between 0 and 100K in 2023, which is practically nothing, which is kind of, we had a student sitting in the corner experimenting around with ChatGPT, and maybe a data scientist analyzing the consequences. There is definitely potential for more. There's definitely the need for more investment in this area. And if you look at the different areas which the companies named along the value chain, content purchasing obviously is not a big topic, because we are talking about using AI to experiment around in content verification and generation. Content creation inside the companies, inside the editorial departments, is a big topic. Publication is also a relevant topic, but they are a bit hesitant still, obviously, because no one wants to replace editors and editorial content generated by humans with AI content without hesitating and without consciously investigating if it's doable and if it should be doable. And then you look at the other areas. If we look at the core area of IAB Europe, we are in an IAB Europe webinar. We are talking about marketing and sales and so on. Inside the programmatic value chain, inside advertising, AI is already there. It has been there for a couple of longer years than it is relevant. It has become relevant for journalistic departments and editorial stuff. But the overall message here is there is a need for more investment, and the investments so far are not significant by German-based media companies. We don't have a look on with the same study approach on UK, France, and other markets, but Germany still is a significant market. So this is a message. So does AI influence revenue growth? Yes. There is definitely a chance. There is a chance in automatization. There is a chance in efficiency. There is a chance in making campaigns better, in optimizing campaigns, advertising campaigns, in optimizing reader revenue acquisition based on AI, based on algorithms, based on data. And there's a strong belief in media companies that this will come, and there's definitely a chance that AI in the end will help media companies to increase revenue. Yeah. What do you plan and what do you do? This is what this chart is all about. So what media companies are planning and already doing a lot in the AI area is content generation, content verification, content format change. So for example, transforming text into videos or text into audio based on AI. Where they are not so active is the area of reader interaction, predictive analytics, content personalization. There is still work to do in this area, and also analyzing your competitors based on AI, and optimizing your own content output based on this. So the core area of you could keep it that way. The core area of journalistic media houses is covered by AI. The media houses are active there, a bit more on the text side than on the video and picture side, but there's significant activity there, and there is room for improvement in other areas. Skip this one. So if we look at what are the biggest drivers for additional revenue through AI inside media companies, upskilling of employees, so making your organization ready for AI, and providing all the knowledge and the education to your organizations, and of course the skills and additional employees to your organizations which are AI ready or which are AI capable of introducing the knowledge into the organization. That is the strongest point. We have a nice German word which is Fachkräftemangel, which means many media companies named, we have problems, we have issues in finding the appropriate people who are AI capable or capable of introducing their knowledge into organizations. We are competing with the big platforms here. The big platforms have more pulling power to people with those skills. So that is definitely an issue. Offer more products through automation is definitely a point. Improve content production in the future. So journalistic people, editors are like guiding the AI inside the organizations. They are defining the principles for content generation, but then also content production is done by AI and improves the output of organizations, which is kind of a balance between humans and algorithms in the end. That's what many media companies stated here. If we look at what are the next steps to conclude, the main point here, one main concern and one main issue inside the media companies was how to sharpen competitive strategies and forging partnerships. In Germany, we have Axel Springer, who very early made a deal with OpenAI. And many companies which we interviewed amongst the 22 referred to that and said, yeah, we would love to have a deal with OpenAI, but we are hesitant, or we are not big enough. So there is definitely a need for collaboration here, and also for publishers to build a kind of negotiation platform amongst each other to improve the strength. So because OpenAI, from the feeling of the media companies, is obviously not very open to do a lot of deals with other publishers. They don't want to do local deals, obviously, or maybe just with the very big publishers in the big markets. So that is definitely an issue for the industry. And the strategy that publishers have chosen here is just avoid the crawling, right? So instead of having a deal, it's just logging out OpenAI, ChatGPT from their content until they have a deal in place. There is definitely room for improvement here in the market. If we look at other areas, transforming the organization, I mentioned that is a big topic. You need the appropriate skills for that, the appropriate people. That is a huge problem for the industry. And in the end, AI, of course, is a game changer. The interesting thing is, I'd say a significant portion, you see it on the left side, and that is my concluding slide. A significant portion of the top managers said, we are completely aware that AI is highly relevant. We implemented that in our strategy. I have a dedicated team, or my personal assistant, or our project manager is taking care of that. If we then look on the right, in the right column, what the companies already have achieved in the same areas, like competitive strategies, arming against the disruption of the business model, transforming the organization, and search for new products, the implementation status is low. So in a nutshell, you could say the top managers are quite aware of what is going on. The people inside the organizations didn't transform AI into their daily work. So it's still kind of between strategy level experimentation, but it's not a tool in daily work implemented into your daily routines, and there is high potential for that. So I conclude with that. I think you will have a way to get the slides afterwards.
That was going to be my next question, Oliver. So fantastic.
Yeah, what you see is what you get. So what you saw is what you get. I don't see any questions in the chat. So thanks for the attention.